So the Commanders made an interesting move just a couple of days ago, something I haven't had an opportunity to talk about yet on this channel. If you are new to this channel, hey, we love talking football. We love talking about teams that are often overlooked. We're Lions fans. We feel like we've been overlooked forever, and unfortunately, rightfully so, until recently. But we've been covering the Commanders actually for a while on this channel. We thought they had a really good chance to be good. We thought Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback drafted. And so we hopped on this bandwagon really quick because we thought there was something that could be good here. So if you want a non-biased opinion, check us out. So my big question for you as we start this video, how do you feel about the black jerseys? The black helmets, you played very well in them this past weekend against the Titans. Is it something you want to see more of? Is it something that you get excited when you hear they're wearing the black jerseys, or would you rather stick to the red? Like, what is the feeling on the black jerseys for you? I know as a Lions fan base that our fans are obsessed with our black jerseys this year. Me, I like the traditional Honolulu blues, but what are your thoughts on the black jerseys? And then today in this video, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about Emmanuel Forbes being released. We're going to talk about exactly why he was released. I'm going to talk to you about my raw reaction. I don't have footage of it. I'm not going to go back and find that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should clip that to this video. Or edit it in or something like that. I don't think I will. Of what I did when your team drafted him with the 16th pick. I don't know if you remember who got drafted next. It was Christian Gonzalez. So I'm going to be real about that. And then we're going to absolutely talk about what's next for the Commanders and what actually really impressed me. I understand you beat a not good Titans team, but you beat them. And so we're going to talk about exactly kind of what that means and what that means going forward heading into the bye. No better way to go into the bye. Get yourself nice and healthy, and then you got 4 games down the stretch where you have a chance to do something special. Definitely get in the playoffs, but who knows, sniff something even more. All right, so why did they release Forbes? Well, all right, Quinn actually talked about it. Here's what he said. He goes, Marshawn's close. All right, Marshawn Lattimore, who I know it feels like he's never going to play, but he's right there. He's been dealing with that hamstring issue. He said, we're close. We talked about that. I think it was Friday for him being back in it, especially with the bye week. He's going to be ready to go, barring a big setback, Quinn said. And so if we made the decision to release him, really just the best opportunity for the team at this point. He went on and talked about a change of scenery. And by the way, he did get a change of scenery. We'll talk about that in a second. And he said, I had a chance to visit with him, and I explained to him, this is Quinn visiting with Forbes. This is kind of cool. This is what kind of a guy Dan Quinn is. He said, I explained to him that sometimes that the change of scenery is good. And I've seen other players go to other clubs, and it turns out differently. And sometimes that's a good thing. And I said that can help, or that can happen with you too. And so I wanted to just make sure he heard it from me. And there was even guys on his own team here that had started somewhere else as a first-round player, and all of a sudden, just a different scenery and a different shift, and the new system can help. And so we wanted to wish him best on his football journey, wherever that goes from here. Here's the thing you have to understand about Forbes. Forbes was not a good draft pick. Like, when they selected him, it wasn't a good draft pick. And I remember when they drafted Forbes, I was doing a live draft show on our Sports Talk Detroit channel that we have. That was our first channel that we ever started. And we were talking Lions, of course, but we go and we talk about every pick as it happens. And when they drafted Forbes, my reaction was, believe it or not, I hate to say this, I don't even want to admit it, I just started laughing. Like, I started laughing. I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, this guy weighs like 167 pounds out of Mississippi State. He's now listed at 180. And I'm like, he's fast-ish, but like, how in the world is he going to match up with NFL wide receivers? How in the world is he going to match up with CeeDee Lamb? How in the world is he going to match up with A.J. Brown? And we all know what A.J. Brown did to him last year. Multiple touchdowns. He doesn't have the size. He couldn't do it. And Christian Gonzalez was sitting there for the taking. And he was a really good corner, a guy that the Lions, who were picking 6th that year, I was like, draft Gonzalez, right? And so it was one of those things that, like, it was all there. You knew from the beginning. Sometimes the pressure of a first-round pick just really struggles. Now I believe he's been picked up by the LA Rams. He's going to go there. He's not going to have this first-round name tag on him anymore. Yes, he'll come in and they'll say he was a former first-rounder, but he's not going to have to live with that former first-round thing anymore. All right, now let's talk about the game against the Titans, because the game against the Titans was really, really interesting to me. The game against the Titans, but this team played well. They got out some fortunate bounces, right? Fumbles, forced fumbles. Mike Stainer still. I love me some Mikey Stainer still. Don't you guys love him, right? Like, I'm a Michigan fan, so I knew what you were getting in him, and I really wish that you didn't draft him because I wanted the Lions to take him. I thought that could fix all of our secondary issues. Even after we took Terry Arnold in the first round. But what I loved was you had the balanced attack of run and pass. What I love is that you got up early, 28-0, and then, you let your foot off the gas a little bit, didn't you? Right? As a team. And it got to 28-13, but then the best part was, okay, then you ended up closing the door. And so when they made things like, it made it a 2-score game in the third quarter, and then the offense was like, no, this isn't happening. And you went back. That is a team that is learning how to win. That is impressive to me. No, it's very rare for a team to win by 23 points. It is very rare for a team to go wire to wire where they dominate every aspect for 4 straight quarters. So the Titans had a moment at the end of the second half, halfway through the third quarter, where it's like, yep, they're doing some things. You had a couple missed field goals. By the way, you left points on the board. Can you imagine that? Right? And what I thought was really impressive with this team is that they came back. And why that is even more impressive is because before this game, you had back-to-back-to-back losses. You lost to 2 really good teams, and you lost to a bad Dallas team. All right, there's no way of getting around that. So that has to hurt the psyche, and this team is probably wondering, like, are we as good as we thought we were? Then you get out big against the Titans, and then they start coming back, and there has to be thoughts and wonders of, like, how good are we? And they prove to themselves, no, we're good. We are the better football team. So now you have the bye week, and then you get to go to New Orleans. All right, that's a game that you absolutely can and should win. You get to go against Philly again. You get Atlanta. Here's your NFC South opponents. And then you finish the season at Dallas. This is a really good schedule that looks like a 3-1 finish. This looks like an 11-6 football team, 10-7 at the worst, and that's going to get the job done. That's going to get the job done. All right, right now, as you can see in the playoff race, all right, the NFC is just nuts. 11-1 Lions, 10-2 Eagles. And then, yeah, you have some teams that actually have a worse record than you that are making the 3-4, but they're division leaders. And then the wild card is nuts. You have the 10-2 Vikings, the 9-3 Packers. By the way, they play each other. They both play the Lions. They still have a lot of tough games, so there's going to be losses that are coming down in that. And then you have the Commanders, right? So here's the way I look at it. And they have a good lead over the Bucs and the Cardinals and the Rams, because 8-5 to 6-6. It's a big difference. And they're rested. Coming up, this is great. You have the opportunity to do some really cool things. Like I said, the Packers still have the Lions. They still have the Vikings. The Vikings still have the Lions. They still have the Packers. There is a chance you can get yourself into the 6th or 7th position, which puts you in a first-round matchup with the Seahawks or the Falcons or whoever comes out of the NFC West, whoever comes out of the NFC South. So Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, Falcons, right? Tampa Bay. Like, that's the team you want to play. So right now you want to get every win you can. You want to sneak yourself into this 6th seed. You want to sneak yourself into this 5th seed. All right, over the NFC North opponents, they're going to just be beating each other up in that difficult schedule so that you guys can avoid the Eagles or the Lions, whoever's going to be the 2 seed, because those are solid teams. It's just funny that you're playing the Eagles as one of the teams in the remaining schedule to avoid the Eagles, right? And hey, even playing the Eagles, I know this sounds crazy, might not be the worst thing. Because if they beat you again in the regular season, it is really, really, really difficult to beat a team 3 times in a row. So you're setting yourselves up for a good thing in the playoffs. And this team is just setting themselves up for success. So enjoy this, Washington fans. This doesn't happen every single year. Look, Forbes, let's go back to him for a second. Shouldn't have drafted him. Rivera, just a comedy of errors when it comes to first-round draft picks. That's not going to be the case anymore. All right? There's a good front office. There's a coach that knows how to coach him up. I hope the best for Forbes with the Rams. I really do. His time was just done in Washington. All right, thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.